Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, and I'm back with another video. Before we begin today's video, I like to state this for the record. I'm gonna try to make this extremely short, fast, and to the point. I don't want this video as long as my other videos when I was giving you guys my thoughts and my impressions of Microsoft and Sony's. So let's get right into and go right ahead into Nintendo's quote-unquote press conference. Before we begin, I feel like Nintendo should go back to the old way of doing things when they used to come to E3. They used to have a real stage floor presentation. I think that would be best for Nintendo moving forward when you're talking about Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch. But I dissect all the videos. I'm not going to go through all the games that they showed out at E3. I will go through the things that I thought was important. You know, Fortnite is finally gracing its way to the Nintendo Switch. Now, Fortnite is on everything, okay? It's literally on every console, on every device, on every type of computer, on every type of mobile phone. Fortnite is everywhere. You can't escape this game. Now, I will say this. When you play Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch, I don't know if a lot of people got the opportunity to download the game, but when you do play Fortnite on Nintendo Switch, you immediately look at the visuals. The visuals are downgraded to, they've been downgraded. And if you try to compare the visuals of Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch versus the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4, you can clearly tell the Nintendo Switch version, the Nintendo Switch port is below average, but it's still an enjoyable game, okay? Hell, even comparing it to the iPhone, I think the iPhone visuals of Fortnite looks a lot better than the Nintendo Switch version. But there are advantages of playing this Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch. And I think a lot of people are going to finally undock their Nintendo Switch. I think a lot of people have already done that anyway. And they're going to use this as a primary portable device to play Fortnite. I think you know, playing Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch, as when you're looking at it as a portable device, it will play and control better versus the iPhone Fortnite. So I think a lot of people are going to utilize that advantage with the Nintendo Switch. Now, I say the press conference was 45 minutes long. They spent like 15 minutes on games that's going to be upcoming to the Nintendo Switch. They also talk about Splatoon DLC. I think it's going to be more so campaign DLC. I'm pretty sure they're going to add more maps and maybe a new mode to the multiplayer portion of Splatoon 2. And they spent the bulk of the time talking about Smash Brothers. Okay, now I'm not a Smash Brothers fan. I do have the Nintendo Switch, and I haven't purchased Smash Brothers because I'm simply not a Smash Brothers fan. However, I do understand the popularity of Smash Brothers and why a lot of people love playing Smash Brothers. Okay, so they went into full details about new characters in Smash Brothers. I believe it's going to be a new mode coming to Smash Brothers. They spent a lot of time. They even talked about those amiibos briefly at the presentation. So overall, what do I think of Nintendo Switch conference? I think, once again, like I said earlier in the video, I feel like Nintendo should go back to the traditional way of setting up the presentation, setting off, you know, how you're going to display these games at E3. I just think video presentations don't really do justice for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, your core fan base loves the way how y'all promote you know, these video presentations on E3 week. However, when you want other, you know, when other communities to purchase your device and check out your games, that are not familiar of how Nintendo do things, I think you're missing the boat and you're missing the opportunity to grab those potential customers that were either leaning on the fence or really don't know anything about the Nintendo Switch. Okay. Secondly, I think Nintendo they're in the same sort of situation like Sony. They really don't have to do too much to impress the people that already purchased the Nintendo Switch console. There's been news has been flowing out that it took the lead in the UK when you compare it to the sales of the Xbox One X. The Xbox One console, even though the Xbox One console has been out longer than Nintendo Switch, they have already caught up with the Xbox One console. Okay, so that tells you right there how popular this console could be, the room and the growth that this console could have. But like I said earlier, Nintendo really don't have to do a lot to do too much for these presentations. I do feel like they do need to if they want a new audience, a new community to embrace, they need to go back to the traditional way of how they used to do E3 back in the day. Okay, now other than that, that was all of the presentation. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give a grade. You can tell I didn't talk about the other things that made its way to the Nintendo Switch. If I have to give the Nintendo conference a grade, I would have to give it a C. I think they did enough to get the job done, quote unquote, to advertise the Nintendo Switch conference. Anybody that had concerns of the Nintendo Switch conference, well, the console itself, they've been answered. They're going to have first party games that are going to be making its way to the Nintendo Switch from the holidays all the way into the future of Nintendo Switch. So I think that's a good thing. And they're also importing other multi-plats to the Nintendo Switch console, because remember, last year everyone had concerns of the Nintendo Switch console because of the lack of multiplats. Now there is still a lack of multiplats for the Nintendo Switch, but not that much. I mean, there's still enough there for people that love multiplats and have a Nintendo Switch. Okay, you have options if you don't want to play the other first party exclusive titles for the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so yeah, I give it a C. They didn't really go into full details of their online service, even though $20 a year, that's not a lot. It's not going to break anybody. And you're going to get the bare minimum of this online service. I don't think it's going to have voice chat improved, for the service. I don't think you're going to have any type of resemblance of a party chat. Okay, achievements, you're definitely not going to have that, but it's going to be the bare minimum of what you're going to get, which is the online play. And to be truthfully honest, it really doesn't matter what console you're playing, the Xbox One X, the PlayStation Pro, or even the Nintendo Switch. Those games out there's not a lot of people doing a lot of chatter. Either people refuse to turn their mics on, or they're in a party chat with their other friends, and their other friends are playing other games. Okay, so even though I feel like party chat is needed, even though I think I feel like just chat alone is very important and needed, it's not the end all and be all like it was back in the 90s with the 360 and the PlayStation 3. Okay, so that's my impressions of the Nintendo's conference. Guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy, and I'm out. I'll see you guys later. Deuces.